Let me ask you a question. When you have a personal conflict with someone, how do you handle it? Chances are you spend a great deal of time negotiating a compromise, or maybe just argue until one of you walks away the winner.
Well, what if you have an issue with, say, a mechanic, a retail store, a plumbing contractor? How do you resolve it?
What if it's more serious? You get sued by a neighbor, audited by the IRS, or you have your identity stolen. Where do you turn?
Do you have the power to influence a national auto chain or a multi-million-dollar clothing store? Would you even know what to do in front of a judge, an IRS auditor, or a credit repository? Wouldn't it be great if you did?
You can. There is a visionary company that is leveling the playing field, balancing the power for you, for me, and for all North Americans.
The company is Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated. Located in the heart of Oklahoma, they have been working to balance the power for people just like you for more than 35 years. In fact, approximately 1.5 million members and their families live stronger, safer, and with greater peace of mind as a prepaid legal member with the Life Events Legal Plan.
What we have done is to develop a plan that gives the average American family access to the top quality lawyers in North America to get the answers and to get the legal help that you need.
You can't get equal justice under the law if you can't get into the front door, and you can't get into the front door unless a lawyer leads you there. So prepaid legal is filling the gap for a lot of people.
Some of you might hear prepaid legal and think, I've lived my whole life without having an attorney. Why would I pay in advance for something I've never needed? Well, because it's not about whether you absolutely have to have an attorney. It's about whether having an attorney could make a difference by empowering you to make better decisions, resolve conflicts, and have peace of mind.
People are realizing that they need to have access to good, competent legal advice to be able to make better decisions. I've seen so many people that, bought a house, signed a mortgage, bought a car, and they're now in a rough financial situation because they did not have somebody give them advice on that situation. So to simply be able to have access to an attorney is a powerful thing.
It's just amazing how many people that I come into contact on a daily basis that really are telling you of a need that they have, and we have a solution to their problem.
Having a provider law firm backing you up, it handles the whole situation more easily. It's just a phone call away.
It's one of those things that if you never have it, you can't miss it. But as soon as you have it, you're never going to want to be without it.
Think about it. If you were told one thing, but the lease you signed says another, who has the power?
When that furniture you just bought falls apart and the manufacturer won't honor the warranty because they don't believe your story, who has the power?
When the dry cleaner ruins your favorite shirt and tells you it was dropped off that way, who has the power?
Well, if they have an attorney and you don't, they have the power. But who's going to go hire an attorney at a few $100s an hour over a $200 repair or a $40 shirt? You just won't do it, and they know it.
It's not about who's right or what's fair. It's about who has the power. Well, with prepaid legal services, you have the power. It's a balance of power that protects your legal rights for the life events that happen every day in our lives.
I had a home in foreclosure and I had 3 children, and I didn't know what to do.
I bought a product at a department store and it was defective.
A telephone company overcharged me for service that I no longer had.
I picked my car up, and guess what? The car didn't even make it home.
The attorneys wrote one letter to pull my home out of foreclosure.
I called Prepaid Legal up. They sent a letter on my behalf, and at the end of the week, I get a call from a representative from the company saying, that's not our store policy. We apologize, and we'd like to give you a full refund on the product.
What Prepaid Legal did for me was they wrote a letter to that company which switched the tables on the company, and then they said, listen, we'd rather just pay the $60 fee instead of going to collections or having to deal with a lawsuit.
Having a lawyer gives you, and it gave me, the respect and legal justice that so many of us do not get without legal representation.
The first area of coverage is preventive legal services. There are several benefits in this area, all designed to help you prevent legal situations from becoming a legal crisis. First, you get toll-free phone consultations on an unlimited number of matters. That means anytime you have a question, you can get answers. Not sure how to handle a situation at your kid's school? Call your attorney. Want some advice before you file a complaint with the city? call your attorney. Your attorney will also make phone calls and write letters on your behalf. If your attorney decides that a phone call or letter from them is the best thing to do, they'll make the call or write the letter. Imagine how much easier it is to persuade that mechanic or contractor when they get a letter from your attorney. Contract and document review is another great benefit under preventive legal services. Your provider lawyer will review an unlimited number of personal legal documents, up to 10 pages each every year. If you're leasing a car, buying a house, or simply don't understand a warranty you received, have your attorney take a look before you sign. You might be surprised what you're agreeing to. The final benefit of the preventive legal services coverage is will preparation. As a prepaid legal member, you can have your will prepared and then have it reviewed and updated each year at no additional charge. Covered family members can also have their will prepared for only $20. This is one of the most important steps you can take to protect your family, but 6 out of 10 Americans haven't done it. Usually because, like most other legal issues, it's expensive. But getting the advice and assistance you need shouldn't be a financial decision.
People just can't afford $100, $150, $200 an hour. And if they don't know their rights, they don't have any.
It's all about the ability to be able to contact an attorney and get some advice so that the little problems in life don't become big problems.
We had a company calling our house threatening us over $92.20. If I didn't have prepaid legal, I would have never called an attorney at $200 an hour for a $92 problem. But because we have prepaid legal, we called the law firm. The law firm wrote a cease and desist letter. It says you must cease and desist all contact with our client pursuant to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. I mean, the letter scared me. I almost wrote myself a check for $92. But of course, we had prepaid legal write that letter. We've never heard from that company again.
I never thought to use an attorney before, but now that I don't have to think about it, it gives me power. So all the times before when I said, you're going to hear from my attorney, and I knew I didn't have one, and they knew I didn't have one, now I have one now. And I don't have to check my pocketbook before I check my rights. So it's just awesome to be able to have access.
There really is no limit to the number of ways prepaid legal members have saved time, money, and heartache by using the preventive legal services. Time and time again, one phone consultation, one letter written on your behalf, or even the preparation of a will can save you enough money to pay for your membership for several years. But this is just one area of coverage. There are many more areas available to you as a prepaid legal member.
The second area of coverage is motor vehicle legal services. The first thing most people think of is traffic court. And yes, this area provides assistance with moving traffic violations. Now, if you get caught speeding, you'll most likely pay a fine or court costs. But having legal assistance can often help you keep points off your record and keep your insurance costs down. We also understand that bad things happen to good people. And unfortunately, automobile accidents can lead to charges such as manslaughter or vehicular homicide. So if you ever need to defend yourself against these serious charges, your provider lawyer will be there for you at no additional cost. Now, it's important to note that the motor vehicle legal services are available 15 days after enrollment and that they aren't designed to give you permission to be reckless or irresponsible. Your driver's license needs to be valid, your vehicle must be properly licensed, and DUI, DWI, and certain other charges won't be covered under this benefit. But they will be covered under the consultation benefit and the discounted services we'll get to in a few minutes.
The next area of coverage is trial defense services. Know anybody that's been sued? It can be incredibly stressful and financially devastating. Under this benefit, you and your spouse are covered for civil suits or job-related criminal charges. As a new member, you start with 75 hours of attorney time, divided as 17.5 hours for pretrial and 57.5 hours for actual trial time. Each year, that number increases until the 5th year when it reaches 335 hours. Now, this isn't trial time for divorce, child custody, or things like bankruptcy. Instead, those are covered as part of the consultation benefit and discounted legal services. It's difficult to put a value on the trial defense services portion of the membership. I mean, what would you have to pay if you didn't have a prepaid legal membership? Well, 75 hours could cost anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000. Your total membership fees for 5 years wouldn't even come close to that amount.
Another potentially expensive legal situation is an IRS audit. With a prepaid legal membership, you will have assistance if you receive that dreaded notice from the IRS that you've been selected for a tax audit. To be clear, we're talking about the family plan. So this is for personal tax audits, not corporate or business tax returns. Your first instinct might be to call your CPA, which could help, but when it comes to an IRS audit, you need someone experienced in tax law. Well, that covers the benefits of the prepaid legal family plan. As you've listened, I'm sure it's been easy to see the value of becoming a member.
Of course, there are certain conditions and exclusions with each area of coverage. Be sure to review the product brochure for specific details. But any legal issue that doesn't fall within the benefits we've talked about is covered. It falls in what we call the preferred member discount. Don't forget, you already have access to phone consultations on an unlimited number of matters. But if you need representation for a situation that isn't part of the other areas of coverage, you'll receive a 25% discount off the provider firm's standard hourly rate. So let me ask you this. How much would you be willing to pay for all of these benefits? $100 a month? $200 a month?
Let's turn the question around. If you went to an attorney and outlined our plan, how much do you think they would charge? $200 an hour? Traditional legal services aren't cheap. That's why they're usually seen as a privilege reserved for the very wealthy. But they're also important enough for us as a society to provide public defenders for the very poor.
That leaves 80% with a tremendous need for legal advice, representation, and protection at a price that won't affect our everyday lives. Welcome to Prepaid Legal Services.
All of the benefits we've outlined are available for only $25 a month. That's less than you pay for a cup of coffee a day. And over the course of 1 year, you'll pay less than most attorneys charge for 2 hours of time. It's an incredible value.
The provider firms across North America are quality-conscious, service-oriented law firms. It's a network of the best law firms in this country and in Canada. And these are law firms that are committed to serving the members of Prepaid Legal. With Prepaid Legal, with this concept, each member collectively put together becomes the single biggest client in all of these law firms, and therefore they get the attention they deserve.
You've got just an army of great lawyers out there who aren't totally driven by the bottom line. They're driven by a desire to serve the public and to solve problems for average middle-class people.
Right now, the system is not very good for being able to make quality legal representation available to ordinary people. It's too expensive, it's too inaccessible, it's too complex, it's too intimidating, it's too threatening. It's very difficult right now. Prepaid Legal Services corrects all that.
In addition to the regular benefits of the family plan, we've developed 2 additional services in response to an overwhelming need in the market. They are the Legal Shield and the Identity Theft Shield. The Legal Shield is an incredibly empowering service that gives you 24-hour, toll-free access to a lawyer if you are ever detained by law enforcement, seriously injured in an accident, served with a warrant, or if the authorities attempt to remove your child or children from your custody.
In today's world, we all understand and respect the job of law enforcement officials. But if you've ever been in one of these situations, justified or not, you know how frightening and intimidating it can be. Well, for only $1 a month, you'll have the peace of mind that you and your family members have access to a lawyer, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Simply present your Legal Shield card to the detaining officer or authorities, and it will be clear that you have access to legal representation and that you would like to contact a lawyer immediately. When you call the 24-hour toll-free Legal Shield hotline, you can talk with a lawyer about your situation. It's that simple. Be aware that this service is not available in all states, and there are situations where the benefit may not apply. For example, if you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs or have outstanding warrants. So talk to your prepaid legal representative and refer to the product brochure for more information.
Next, we have the Identity Theft Shield. Anyone who's been paying attention won't find it hard to believe that identity theft is the fastest growing white-collar crime in America. A recent study showed that more than 11.1 million adults were victims of identity theft in 2009 at a cost of about $54 billion.
With identity theft being, where it is today, and understanding that, it's more than just a credit crime, and understanding that, people have those things happen to them. And the worst, the situation is that you have a lot of people that are out there that are victims of identity theft and don't even know it yet.
Someone had hacked into my site. They'd gone out there and was using my particular server to sell bogus stuff through an online auction site under my name.
It was actually a mortgage company from New York State, and I'm from Florida, who was someone was applying for credit in my name.
Wanted to know if we had opened a checking account and a savings account at a bank in Newark, Delaware, and I said, no. And they said, well, somebody has.
The fact is, you are at risk. It's easy to steal your personal information. The only thing that you can do is take action to reduce your risk and prepare for the possibilities. And the way to do that is with the Identity Theft Shield. The Identity Theft Shield is the result of a partnership between Prepaid Legal and Kroll, the world's leading independent risk consulting company. They are an international company that has been involved with some very high-profile cases, including turning around Enron after their collapse and investigating Saddam Hussein's finances for the Kuwaiti government.
Your issue may not be that big, but they realize that it can be equally as devastating when it happens to you. That's why you can be sure when you need the Identity Theft Shield, the service is handled by experienced, licensed investigators who have been trained specifically to restore identity theft issues. Experts agree that reviewing your credit report regularly is important to protecting your valuable personal information.
So with the Identity Theft Shield, you'll have access to your credit report along with information on how to read your report. After you've ordered your credit report, we'll continuously monitor your credit to help you identify suspicious activity. If someone requests your credit report, asks for new credit, etc., you'll find out about it. Now, there are other companies that can help you discover that you're a victim. However, that's where they stop, but not us. We're going to help you restore your credit with our Identity Restoration Service.
Speaking as a former Attorney General, I know that Prepaid Legal can do for its members what the Attorney Generals of America would like to do, but cannot do because they don't have the staff to help these individuals one by one by one by one. And that's where the coverage that Prepaid Legal offers in identity theft is unique and special, and I think worth having.
This is an incredible benefit of the Prepaid Legal membership, and it's only $9.95 a month to cover you and your spouse. However, it's also available as a standalone product for only $12.95 a month. You may also have seen the many recent stories regarding identity theft in children. 7% of reported identity theft cases target children. We can also help you safeguard your children's identity for just $1 more per month. As you can see, this comprehensive product is designed to protect all of your legal rights. Whether it's a simple conflict with your dry cleaner, defending you in court, or helping you deal with the tragedy of identity theft, you'll have the power and confidence that comes with being a Prepaid Legal member.
Access to the system is the key. That's why wealthy people pay a lot of money to have it. But you don't have to. You and your family can enjoy the benefits of our family plan, the Legal Shield, and the Identity Theft Shield for as little as $36 a month. Prepaid Legal Services has been providing legal service plans for more than 35 years and identity theft assistance since 2003. It's a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange with approximately 1.5 million memberships in force in the United States and Canada.
Over the past several years, countless publications and news outlets have recognized our success and the incredible value of our membership. Publications like Forbes magazine, Fortune magazine, Black Enterprise magazine, Individual Investment, The Wall Street Journal, the list goes on and on.
We're talking about a New York Stock Exchange powerhouse that's been around for 36 plus years.
It's a company that has some incredible deep roots and run by some incredible, exciting people dedicated to the principle of what they started 35 years ago, and we're glad to be a part of it.
I saw it as an opportunity to change the legal system, and I know that we're doing that. We're doing it one membership at a time.
For a small monthly membership, an entire family can have access to attorneys anytime that they need.
It began as a personal mission of our founder, Harlan Stone Cipher, after an automobile accident, which was not his fault, left him with costly legal bills. He learned firsthand that no matter how innocent you are, protecting your legal rights can be expensive. But he envisioned a way to change the system, a way to give everyone equal access to the justice system and give them the power to face life's injustices with confidence and peace of mind.
The reality is, life's not fair. Not everyone is honest, and bad things happen. But when they do, you don't have to face them alone. You'll have an attorney on your side, creating the balance of power you need to protect your legal rights. Discover the power of a prepaid legal life events legal plan membership today.
Simply contact the person who gave you this program to learn how these services can make a difference for you and enroll.
Then you too can balance the scales of justice, have equal access to the system, and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with being a member of prepaid legal services.